In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful.
Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Of course, it is a radical thing to do, but we believe that the times, and we believe that Islam and the Quran is that dangerous of a religion, that drastic means are necessary.
Muslims eat meat?
Some meat? No, they don't. They don't eat meat.
Not at all.
Maybe only some. Maybe what would be considered kosher?
I'm not entirely sure, but I would not put it against them.
Yes. Lambs. Chicken.
As long as it's halal, which means they like pray to it, I guess.
Is Jesus a part of Islam?
No.
No, not at all. How about Abraham?
Yes.
How about Moses?
Yeah.
How about Mary?
I guess not. No.
Okay. Is a part of Islam?
No.
No. How about Abraham?
Yes. Wait. No. Sorry.
No. How about Moses?
I do not believe so.
And how about Mary?
Not that I know.
Yes, but I don't know how he works in your religion.
Okay, how about Abraham?
Yeah, he is part of your religion.
How about Moses? And Mary?
Yes.
Yes, he is. He is one of he's a prophet, previous prophet.
And how about Abraham? Is he a part of Islam?
Yes, he is.
And Moses?
Yes, they are.
And Mary?
Yes.
What is Ramadan?
Ramadan, I believe, is a 30-day period in which Muslims fast during the day and then are permitted to eat during the night.
All I know is that you fast during the day and then I think you get to eat like in the middle of the night or like early in the morning or something like that. Is that right?
Ramadan, that is, it's one of the religious holidays or observations.
Ramadan is a period of fasting, so sort of a way to sort of reflect and cleanse. Goes on for about a month.
Do you think that there are any similarities between Islam and Christianity?
That's a pretty general question. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yes, because they're both religions and they do preach to, a higher power. And this prayer.
I think the values they share are similar. Like at the end of the day, just like the way they go about it's like different.
Jesus, in some way. That's pretty much all I know.
Does the Quran endorse violence?
I'm gonna be honest. I've read a lot of things which may or may not be biased, which may or may not say that the Quran does endorse violence. I think that it depends on how you find it. I think that some Muslims might read it and may take from it that it does endorse violence. I think others, maybe less radical Muslims, may just read it as it is.
Not violence. I don't believe so.
What the Quran is?
Yeah, I am. And I do not think it endorses violence.
Some would argue that it does. I don't necessarily believe that it does. I think that it promotes more peace than violence.
Do you think that Muslim women are oppressed by the religion?
Yes.
Do you find that covering, like the way I cover, for instance, is a form of oppression?
Do you feel oppressed? Then no. I mean, I think for some it is, for some it isn't. I think the fact, for instance, that Muslim women aren't allowed to drive in many Middle Eastern countries is considered oppression.
Yes.
Would you say that covering, like for instance the way I'm covering, is a form of that oppression?
No, I don't think that's a form of the oppression. All I know is that I think men have more rights than women do.
Like oppressed? No, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like everyone has like a choice. It's not like I mean, it's just how you're raised. Like I was raised a certain way. I could have easily been raised Muslim. Yeah, Muslim parents.
I don't necessarily think so. Because I could see why some people might think that, but I don't necessarily believe that that's the case. I think that some women that do cover see it as a sign of their devotion to their faith, as opposed to something that's negative or that's oppressive, and they actually see it as a sort of liberation.
Do you think that Islam privileges men over women? Privileges men?
Yeah.
Yes. How so?
Yes. Going back to what I said about driving, just in terms of what women, for instance, are allowed to do in society. I know that punishment on women is a lot harsher than it is on men. I've lived in, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of businesses that men are allowed to practice in that women are not. Women are generally, especially like in the Middle East, men are the ones that go out, they do all their business. I know there is actually one Palestinian woman which sits on the Knesset in Israel, but besides her, I'm not aware of any powerful Muslim woman.
Does Islam privilege men? I would say yes, because not just Islam, but Christianity and Judaism as well. I think in terms of an historical context of the patriarchy, yeah, I think those religions definitely privilege men more than women, but I don't necessarily think that in a philosophical sense that it does.
Well, I know I think they, like with jobs and stuff like that, and I think they more have like the last word in the household and stuff.
What do you believe your image is as a Muslim in the media?
A negative one. It's
negative?
a very negative portrayal of Muslims, one that dehumanizes them. So they can get the public behind a lot of our very dehumanizing foreign policies to justify their wars in Afghanistan and different places. So by vilifying Muslims at home, we can, in a way, justify our violence against Muslims abroad.
You know what I think it is? I think they're mainly being portrayed as outcasts. Someone who can never fit in. Someone who can never fit in with the American culture, the American society. And I think that's wrong.
Muslims in general, I think, are just portrayed as being violent and oppressive, and it's just unfortunate, really, because when you really get to know a Muslim, they're not really like that.
Could you maybe elaborate more?
Well, pretty much just like from all the Al-Qaeda, just anything you see, just a terrorist, someone who, just based off the stares we get, just, different, not someone accepted into society.
I think there are multiple images, so it's kind of a tough question to answer. As far as it goes with the conservative side, Islam might be seen as something that's a little bit more of a threat to the Western world, and with other people who are, I guess, leftist or central, as far as their political views go, they probably see Islam as something that's not as aggressive. It's just a religion, just like any other religion that's out there.
How do you feel about covering? Because you obviously do wear the hijab.
I feel absolutely fine. I feel I can do anything a normal person can do. It doesn't constrain me. It doesn't restrain me. I feel liberated. I feel modest. I feel pious.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's not for any other human being. It's not for my mother, not for my father, not for my brothers. It's for me. It reminds me of my purpose, of who I'm worshiping and why I'm here.
It was my decision. It wasn't forced upon me or anything. I feel like it definitely defines who I am as a person. So it's part of me. So I'm actually very proud of like being able to cover and just walk around, just like, you know, express myself in this way.
So, do you feel that Islam gives more rights to men?
Oh no. I'm a woman in gender studies major. Do not get me started on that. No, definitely not. Oh no.
I'm actually taking a women in Islam class right now, and it just keeps reaffirming my previous theories. No, we're equal. So.
I don't think that Islam gives more privileges or rights to men. I think the issue that a lot of people have with this question or this topic is that they don't understand the difference between culture and religion. And so a lot of times culture does interfere with the practices of religion, especially in the Arab world. So it does seem like it, but Islam itself does not practice that.
The thing Islam does is, it defines the roles of men and women. I do believe that they are distinct. But what limits us is our culture. And I think people falsely assume that it's associated with the religion.
Well, I've always grown up knowing that a woman is very delicate compared to a man. So, in a way, no, they're both equal. It's just handled differently how they should be treated.
Okay. Do you think that there are any Islamic practices that promote violence?
I think on the surface, if you look at it with a blind eye, then yes. But if you really understand the concepts behind it, it makes sense and it's not violent at all. It's all about self-defense.
Cool.
I think that the ayah that people tend to quote the most is, kill the infidel or wherever you find them or whatever. Again, people need to look at it in its context. They can't just pick out words from the Quran and say that, well, this is this is that. Well, what do you think about this? Look at it in its entire context. If the only time I see that, violence is not necessarily projected, but there is this notion of self-defense. So I think again people need to look at it, and if you look at the history of Islam, you'll see that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ never promoted violence at all. In fact, that was the last thing he ever wanted to do.
In the end of the day, no act of violence is permitted in Islam except as an act of self-defense, and that's about it.
Has the media's negative portrayal of Islam affected you as a Muslim?
In fact, I think it just gives me more of a responsibility to be wary that there are ignorant people out there, and if there is someone's going to attack you for what you believe in, you got to realize that there's some ignorance behind that. So it'll stop me from being a little harsh in my reaction, but it just tells me that I have more of a responsibility to say what I actually believe in.
It did affect me more when I was younger, especially right after 9/11. There seems to be a lot of animosity and hate towards what I was.
No, I don't think it has. All of my experiences, even though I covered, they've been good. No one's ever treated me harshly or anything because of that.
So basically, you never hide your religious identity?
No, not at all. I don't think I can. So I wouldn't want to. Yeah.
By the fact that you're Muslim, has anyone ever discriminated against you? Would you mind sharing that?
Yes. The worst one I've ever had was about, I think it was 3 summers ago. I was going to Algeria, so I was at Walmart with my mom and we were shopping, and this old man actually spit on me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was probably the worst. Other than that, people just say stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely been, discriminated against. I feel like any minority, even non-minorities, are discriminated against because of their beliefs or their ethnicity. So, it happens to everybody, regardless of who you are or where you are.
You'll get the occasional, dirty look on the road or whatever, but alhamdulillah, I was one of the blessed ones that never got pushed or shoved.
A small family friend was murdered for being Muslim, so
oh, wow.
Yes.
you.